నమస్కారం. డాక్టర్ బిఆర్ అంబేద్కర్ సార్వత్రిక విశ్వవిద్యాలయం విద్యార్థులకు స్వాగతం. ఈ ప్రసారంలో
Welcome to TV lesson program on conflict management and resolution. The conflict is a natural phenomenon in our society. It occurs due to incompatibility of ideas, values, opinions between people or between groups, between departments, between organizations and nations. In other words, conflict is due to difference of opinion or disagreements. The conflicts have both positive consequences and also negative consequences. It all depends how you deal with the conflicts. If the conflicts are not handled properly, it affects the relationship between people and also it affects the efficiency of workers in industries. It also affects the productivity of organizations. So people in general and managers in organization, they need to know the conflict resolution techniques and conflict management mechanism so that they can improve the productivity of the industries. To explain these aspects, today with us Dr.S.Bhaskar Naidu. Formerly he was a professor of clinical psychology in the Institute of Mental Health, Hyderabad. Now we will explain different aspects of conflict, the types of conflicts, sources of conflicts, and how to deal with these conflicts, and also the techniques and procedures involved in resolving the conflicts. Will you please explain the importance or the nature of conflicts and also the importance of the conflict resolution?
Life is not a smooth bed of roses. When leading life, we have to face many problems. Every day we have to adjust with many things. In this process, we come across many situations where we cannot take decisions properly because of these conflicting situations. If these situations are managed smoothly, properly, the life will be very smooth and the goals can be reached without any difficulty and the life ultimately gets satisfaction. Not only in personal lives, even in organizations, among the groups, these kind of situations where people have to make decisions will become a problem because taking particular decision leads to problem with other issues. That is why conflicts are common, inevitable part of life. We have to understand them and we know the techniques to resolve them properly. There won't be any problem. Finally, it will lead to good consequences and positive outcomes only. And depending upon the personal conflicts, intra or interpersonal or group or organization, whatever it is, we can define these conflicts in 2 or 3 ways. The number 1, arousal of 2 or more strong motives that cannot be responded at the same time. If you respond to one motive, probably the other gets problem. That is why this is a situation where 2 motives compete with each other and you can respond to only one, but the situation will be difficult in that situation. It is a situation in which 2 or more parties or individuals involved with difference of opinions, difference of ideas, then the group will not go smoothly unless they resolve these ideas. And lastly, it may be an issue among 2 or more parties we imagine or sometimes real that they have a incompatible attitudes. So, in this way it can be in groups, in person, or among organizations, or among nations, international, interstates, intrastate. Variety of conflicts can come in our life, not only personal life, in social life also.
Well, Dr. Bhaskar Naidu, you have very clearly explained the meaning and the definition of conflict. And there are also different types of conflicts and the sources. There are many sources for these conflicts. So, how these conflicts arise and what are the types of conflicts?
So, if you come to the types of conflicts, there are many types of conflicts, but the common varieties. Number one, approach avoidance conflict. In this approach avoidance conflict, the goal which you have to reach has both positive and negative aspects. If you think about the positive aspect, to reach the goal, there will be negative aspect also. At this situation, there is a problem to decide. For example, there is a job with a good salary, but at the same time the working atmosphere may not be good. So, in this situation, the person has to take a decision whether to see the salary and job or to look for the environment. So, there is a conflict situation. Second type is approach conflict. In this, the goal has both positive things. For example, a student has got seats in two subjects in which he is interested in both, and both are equally good. At that time, the student cannot decide to which course he has to join, because he has to join only one course. So, this conflict is approach conflict. Then avoidance conflict, third one. In this, you have to reach the goal, but the goal has both negative aspects. For example, in common saying also we will be saying deep sea, and between deep sea and devil. If you go forward, there is a sea. If you go backward, there will be a devil, something like that. You have to decide, but you have to face some problem in the decision. Then one more type of conflict is also there, double approach avoidance. In this, both positive and negative aspects will be there in both the sides. So, maybe the approach avoidance conflict, both the side, that is the double approach avoidance conflict, in which again the person has to decide. It becomes a difficult. For example, again a job with good pay and bad working environment. Regarding this double approach avoidance conflict, for example, a person has to choose between two goals. For example, a job with a good pay, bad environment, working environment, the other job less pay but good working environment. In these kind of situation also, a person feels it difficult to take a decision, because both sides they have a positive goal and negative goal. Then going to the other type of conflicts, interpersonal conflicts, there can be difference of opinion, there can be difference of attitudes. So, in this time also difficult to take decisions. For a simple example, wife wants to go to a movie, but husband wants to see a cricket at the same time. Then it becomes a problem whether to satisfy wife or satisfy his personal need to see the cricket. Both are important, both have to be attended at the same time. Then it becomes a interpersonal conflict. And then intra-group conflicts, similarly interstate conflicts, international conflicts, a variety of conflicts can be there. In this intra-group conflicts, sometimes the one part of the group wants something, the other part of the group wants different thing, then it becomes a problem. For example, one part of the student group wants the examination to be postponed, but other group of the students want the examination should be conducted as per schedule. This becomes a problem. Even within the same group also there can be difference of opinions and conflict can arise. Like this, there are a variety of conflicts. Then coming to the point of why this conflict should arise at all. Number one, there can be communication barriers. Most of the times the conflicts arise because the communication will not be clear. So, a conflicting attitude can arise. And second one is incompatible goals. If you reach one goal, the other goal will be a problem. That is one source of the conflict. Then scarce sources. The resources are very scarce, and if two people have to share it, and then it becomes a conflict. Every person will be competing for the share, that becomes a conflict again, a source. Then personal variables, persons have different variables. We are by birth itself we have individuality or uniqueness in every person. Because of this also conflict can arise, because no two individuals go together in many aspects. Then jurisdictional, these things, I mean, for example, space, this is my space, this is your space, don't interfere with me, don't interfere in my area, something like that. Area wise, geographical wise also there can be, that is one source of conflict, because many people fight where this area wise also. And then next, power and status differences, this is another main important source of conflict. People want to enjoy the power, and at the same time enjoying this power will compete with other thing, that becomes a problem. And then role ambiguity, role conflicts, because a person has to play a role, and then he may not be allowed to play that role, and at the same time he will be asked to play different roles, that also becomes a problem. Role ambiguities, role confusional, and regional, religious sources can also be there, there as a conflict producing situations.
Clearly explained various types of conflicts, they are very interesting, and you also explained the sources and why the conflicts arise and the reasons of conflicts. So communication appears to be the major problem. Because of this communication, the way they communicate with others, that is leading to conflicts. And also you said that goals are incompatible, because of that the conflicts are arising. And the other thing is scarce resources, is natural. So because if these conflicts are not resolved, conflict, you said conflicts are natural, conflicts do arise in any organization and in society. So conflicts, if go on, if allowed to continue for a longer period, what will happen to that individual or to the organization?
So as we have discussed earlier, conflicts are common in life, we have to accept them. But the only thing is, if they are not resolved, that will lead to many complications in life. Not only personal life, that is mental health, and then even personal physical health, and then relationship between two people or two groups, or relationship between group and individual, all these things will get disturbed, and finally the it will lead to resentment, dissatisfaction, and then variety of problems.
So because of these reasons, you said the conflicts have to be managed and conflicts have to be resolved. Otherwise the productivity in the organization, for example, if there is conflicts continue between the workers, if there are conflicts between the workers and the management, or there is a conflict between the union and the management, so definitely that will lead to various problems.
Like
so that will affect the relationship as well as the productivity or the efficiency of the workers. Now the problem is how to resolve these conflicts. Are there any techniques, specific techniques are there, any management mechanism is there to resolve or to solve these problems?
Before going to exactly the management and resolution of these conflicts, one or two points about the importance of conflict management. Okay. If conflicts are managed properly, what is going to happen? It gives more opportunities for successful and team building and good outcome, good relationship. Second one is helps more constructive behavior in the group or society or whatever it is. Then avoid aggression and then damaged relationship. So if you can manage conflict properly, definitely it will help you to reduce your aggression, and there won't be much scope for having emotional disturbances, all these things which are very important in life. Then helps to improve even physical health and improve the performance, as you said earlier, this productivity will be increased and everything will be fine. If conflicts are managed properly, everything will be fine in life, in the society. So I need not tell that the importance of conflict management resolution. It is a must to have a smooth life.
So you said the conflicts have to resolve, otherwise it affects the relationship and also the efficiency and productivity of the organization. Well, then are there any specific techniques for resolution?
Yeah, there are many techniques depending upon the situation, persons, resources. and then group resources, all these things. If you classify some of these things, the first thing, and then resolving the conflict, the immediate thing that we can do at personal level is, number one, quickly relieve the stress.
Right.
Because conflicts are known to produce stress, known to produce emotional disturbances. The first thing that we can do is first release the emotions or reduce the reactivity, or the other way we can say relax. Once you relax, you can do many things better.
That is the starting point.
Then recognize and try to manage the emotions. Many people under emotions, they behave in such a bad manner or a wrong manner or whatever it is, which is not productive or which may damage everything. So if you try to look into yourself, and if you can recognize the emotions, then try to manage them. So recognizing the emotions and managing them, that is another simple way of thinking. Then improving non-verbal communication. Many times other person gets into problem or conflict is because of non-verbal communications. Suppose sometimes whenever you are communicating, if you show the finger, that gives different meaning. Without showing the finger, if you tell something, that gives different meaning. For example, in this eye contact, facial expressions, and then tone of voice, you may be telling a very nice thing, but the tone of voice is in such a way that the other person gets hurt. So your non-verbal communications have to be managed first. That is another important thing. Then you can use humor or play or friendly discussions with other persons to manage these conflicts. So humor many times helps the people to resolve even serious conflicts sometimes. So these are some of the simple ways of a personal level. And then if you go to the a little other level, these tips for the conflict management. There are some tips to manage these conflicts. Number one, prioritizing relationships. Some people, they want their personal needs to be satisfied, they don't bother about other people. But here what you have to do is, you have to give priority for relationships.
The relationship is most important.
Because we are in the society, we can't live alone. No doubt we have to satisfy our personal needs, but at the same time we have to give importance to the relationships also. For example, it's a family, we have to give importance to the other person also in the family. In the organization, you have to give importance to the management, to the co-worker, your boss, your subordinate, so many things will be there. You have to give importance to these relationships, and then focus on present. See, many people, they can't resolve these conflicts properly because they bring all past things into the present. Maybe some years back, many days back, something might have happened. They bring that situation to the present, and they spoil everything, even the present.
Most of them live in the past.
So better concentrate more what is the problem now here and how to manage this resolution. That will be better. So then focus on present, and then we have to pick what you want. Sometimes we call it pick your battles. So don't interfere in each and everything. What you want, focus on it, pick that what you want. That is another important. Then another important thing is willingness to forgive. In the conflict management, one important thing is, if a person has the ability to forgive at least some of the things, most of the conflicts will be resolved. Otherwise, the problems will be continuing. And then last thing is, know when to let something go. You can, under priority, again same thing, you should know when something should happen, when should you allow something should go. That you have to understand. That is another way of managing conflict. Otherwise, you want to do something now which you did not do now. If you do not know when it has to be done, then it becomes a problem again. This is another type of tips for conflict management. And then again, if you go to what you call some technique, fair fighting. Sometimes you have to fight. Fighting means it is not real emotional fight for your right, for your satisfaction, or for to lead your role, to do justice to role. Sometimes you may have to fight. So in this fight, what are the things that you can do? Even in fighting, there are many interesting things to be done. Number one, for example, remain calm. Is it possible to fight with calmness? It is possible. Then express feelings in words, not in actions.
So that is very interesting.
Very interesting. We have to express our feelings not in actions. Okay. Again, the body language will come here.
Right.
So express in words. Tell them in a calm this thing, and then be specific. Many times the conflict will arise, as I told in the beginning, communication problem. Many things will be told at a time, and the person do not know how to take it. So whatever you want to tell to the group or the management or your even a friend, even your family member, wife or husband, you should be specific in telling certain things.
Yes.
Okay, you should not confuse the person. Then avoid accusations, arguments, accusations, finding fault with other person. Do not stockpiles. That means you don't keep on pending the problems. There are some people, they are either afraid to solve it or they do not know how to solve it. Okay, they keep on pending. So last thing is avoid clamping up. Okay, too many things taking at a time and then clamping up, and you will become emotional and you can't help them. These are some of the strategies at simple level also we can use for the management of conflict.
For important thing is there can be interpersonal conflicts, the
Yes.
conflicts between two people. So what is the meaning of this interpersonal conflict?
So many people are suffering because they have conflicts in the interpersonal relationships. As everyone knows, we are living in the groups, so we have to maintain this interpersonal relationship very smoothly. Okay, even relationship can lead to even to the level of endangering life itself. Because of relationship problems, there are people who commit suicide also. Okay, that is seriousness. So in this interpersonal conflict, there are again simple ways to manage. Some of the strategies in the interpersonal relationships are, for example, avoidance. Some of the issues, not all, some of the issues better not to touch them, leave them.
Right. Just you can ignore them.
Ignore them. Okay. And then another thing is diffuse. Okay. There is some source of conflict is there, some conflicting source is there, better diffuse there itself. Okay. Remove the originating point itself, you can remove the conflicting situation. Okay.
Right.
Something better not to allow to develop it in the early stage itself, diffuse it.
Right.
Like bomb diffusing.
Okay. Right.
And the next thing is containment. Sometimes at least you have to allow the conflict to come to a little to surface, at least solve it. Some satisfaction will be there for the problem issue. Okay. If you totally avoid, some problem will be there. Sometimes you have to allow the conflict to come to a little surface, solve it, at least some hope, or the remaining things will be smooth a little.
Right.
Okay. Somebody is there to attend, something like that, some hope.
Right.
And the last thing is sometimes confrontation also helps.
So confrontation
Also helps sometimes. Or sometimes we say assertiveness.
Yes.
You have to, when you are supposed to say no, you have to say no.
Right.
Or you have to find out. You are afraid to find out without confrontation. You will be in trouble in interpersonal. Why can't you confront?
Thank you, Dr. Bhaskar Naidu. You have very clearly explained the meaning of conflict and the types of conflict and also the sources of conflict and the importance of conflict management. And I also explained the techniques, various techniques involved in resolving the conflicts. Definitely these techniques will help the organization. Thank you very much, Dr. Bhaskar Naidu.
Welcome.
మా కార్యక్రమాలపై మీ సూచనలు సలహాలు ఆహ్వానిస్తున్నాం. మీ సూచనలు సలహాలు మాకు తెలియచేయవలసిన చిరునామా: డైరెక్టర్, ఆడియో విజువల్ ప్రొడక్షన్ అండ్ రీసెర్చ్ సెంటర్, డాక్టర్ బిఆర్ అంబేద్కర్ ఓపెన్ యూనివర్సిటీ, ప్రొఫెసర్ జి రామరెడ్డి మార్గ్, రోడ్ నంబర్ 46, జూబ్లీ హిల్స్, హైదరాబాద్ 500033.